Victor Benucci and Madeline Falco have a story to tell. It begins with the death of Vic's father. It ends with the murder of Mad's uncle. The Hackensack Police Department would very much like to hear it. But in order to tell their story, Vic and Mad must focus on all the chapters in between. So begins Kids of Appetite, the story of New Jersey teen Vic Benucci, who has a facial muscle syndrome known as Mobius syndrome. Vic can neither smile, nor blink, nor even sleep with his eyes closed. He has to take eye drops to make sure his eyes stay wet, and his eyes have to do all the expressing for him. 2 years prior to the start of the book, Vic's father, Vic the second, Vic of this story is the third, died of cancer, and now his mother has a new boyfriend who, at the very beginning of the story, proposes to her. Vic's father's ashes are sitting in the next room, so Vic, who's witnessed the whole event, freaks out, takes the ashes, and runs out of the house, where he finds what later becomes to be known as the Kids of Appetite. The Kids of Appetite are made up of refugee Congolese brothers, Zeus and Baz Kabongo, Baz who wants to be an author, and Zeus who does not speak. A little girl named Coco from the Bronx who fancies herself a rapper and has a bit of a cursing problem, and local girl Madeline Falco, who's known, clearly as you can tell by the description of the book, to have some family issues. Now, as it goes in stories like this, the Kids of Appetite take Vic under their wing, and once Vic starts to get really comfortable with them, he opens the jar with his dad's ashes in it and finds a plastic baggie with a note in it from Vic's father to his mother, giving her clues as to where he wants his ashes to be spread. Upon this discovery, Vic and the rest of the Kids of Appetite make it their mission to find all these places and follow his father's wishes and spread the ashes where he wished them to be. All in all, I really enjoyed this book. It leans a little bit darker than my tastes usually lean. I like things to be kind of bright and happy. Every once in a while I'll go for something like super dark, but that's rare. But it was funny, and it was smart, and it was sweet, and I loved they talk about this idea of things being old new. That's how Vic's father referred to his marriage to Vic's mother, is she made him feel old new, and they really puzzle over what that means. My big thing about it is that personally I found it very hard to start as a book. It started very slow personally for me, but as it went along it started picking up. And I loved Vic and Mad's relationship because Vic maintains that he has loved lots of girls, but this is like the first girl he's been like, oh my gosh, she's amazing! And so it's really sweet. And also to watch like the walls of that idealism also kind of start to break down the more he gets to know her and realizes how kind of messed up she really is. I also really like the framing device of using the police department as like stuff from the end of the book being referred to throughout the book, and you kind of start to figure out, okay, this is what really happened. I like that little mystery element of it. It's just a really fun book. It's not necessarily at the top of my list, but out of the books I've read so far off the Florida Teen Reads list, I certainly do recommend it to those of you who kind of like the more dark, like if you like more darker kind of indie version films, or if you're a fan of Perks of Being a Wallflower, you might really like this. So if you have time this summer, I do recommend Kids of Appetite. I would like to hear your thoughts in the comments. If you have any books you'd like me to read after I'm done with this summer reading project, I'd love to hear from you. And other than that, don't forget to click like and subscribe, and you have a nice day, my darlings. I'll see you later.